did this the Cowboy Vittles way. Welcome back to another day at the house of Cowboy Vittles, a place that you can explore your taste buds, learn new recipes. You know what? I went upstairs this morning, was gonna do some breakfast sausage, the Patty style, and guess what? I ran out. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do this my way, the Cowboy Vittles way. Now I've got 5 pounds here, and I've got another chunk of this pork that we're going to be slicing up now. Let's set this off to the side so we can start slicing this up. Now you want this to be about, well, at least 2/3 to 3/4 of the way frozen, because you know what? I use the manual type slicer. And when it's raw and room temperature, guess what? I ain't exactly a spring chicken. I wouldn't need to have a gym membership because it puts a workout on me. Now come on over here and take a look at what I'm doing here. I'm slicing these down into some decent sized chunks. Let's go ahead and get this going through the grinder now. The old-fashioned kind. Let me crank that down just a little bit more. There we go. I think I got it. That's what a workout is when you want to do it the old-fashioned way. Now let's get another piece of this meat. Let's throw that in there. And we got 5 more pounds to go before it's all done. Yep, I can see that I'm going to be taking a nap today after all this is done. Well, all of our the pork has already been ran through the meat chopper, the hand cranked one that is, which gave me quite a workout for 5 pounds of that. I tell you what. Now it's time to start putting in our ingredients, and I know some folks, they'll put in salt, they'll put in pepper, they'll put in paprika, they'll put in a lot of different things. But you know what? I like my pork a little bit sweeter. Now I've got about 8 ounces left of this molasses because it's awful tasty. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this in there, and I'm going to start working that around. I think we got about all of it that we're going to get. Let's set this off to the side. And then we're going to start smooshing this down. Look at that. Now it looks all brown now as opposed to that pink redness that we had. We're going to smoosh that down some more. And then we're going to start making our patties. And what we're going to do after that, we're going to go ahead and brown these things up before we put them into the jars and the pressure cooker. Well, we got all of our molasses all soaked into our pork and such. Now, I have this little cup here because that's about the right size I want to do. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a handful of that. And I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to make it just about halfway down, if I can get that off my fingers. Now, let's set this off to the side and let's get this first one going. Now, as you can tell, I got some saran wrap here. Let me show you what I'm going to do here. Because I've got the right measurement. Let's set that off to the side. Let's flip this over. We're going to go ahead and start making our patties. I'm looking forward to this because I tell you what, with my poached eggs on whole wheat toast, By golly, I tell you what, I'm gonna have a breakfast in the morning. Let's get another one of these patties going here. And as you can see, I'm still putting it in about the same amount because I like my patties a little bit thicker than some folks. I don't like them paper thin. Now, I got the right amount. Let's go ahead and pull that out. Let's go ahead and mash it down a little bit. That's about the right thickness, because I don't like them paper thin. I like them a little bit fuller. Now, I'm going to take that cup. You remember that cup I used? I'm going to go ahead and start making that nice and rounded, the way we like them. Let's set that off to the side. Press that down just a little bit. Look at that. Doesn't that look pretty? What's that?
Looks like poop.
But it tastes a whole lot better than that. Alright.
Wait, you guys are recording. Who could eat the poop, right?
Well, our pork patties are finally done with that molasses in there, the way I like them the best. I like a little bit of sweetness to it. Now it's time to go ahead and get these things going into the frying pan, because we're going to brown them on both sides before we put them into the pressure canner. Now come on over here and take a look at what we've done here. We've got 3 layers of patties that we're going to be browning up here in just a few moments before we put them into our jars, our quart-size jars, because we're going to put about, hopefully, about 8 of them into each one of them. Look at that. Now, I know that you see that grease in there. Guess what? Whether it's a link sausage, whether it's a pork patty sausage, you gotta have that grease in there, and it will melt out as you're cooking it. So let's take a look at how we do this. I got my spatula, my favorite one. Let's go ahead and put this in the skillet. I've already got that warming up. Oh, and you can hear that sizzling sound already. Ooh, I'm ready for some poached eggs on whole wheat toast along with these patties. Now let's get the next one going. Well, we're down to our last 3 patties on the pork sausages. And I tell you what, they look like they're about done. Let's flip them over one last time just to make sure that they're completely done. Next thing we're going to do, come on over here. Take a look at this. These things are nice and golden brown. This is what you want, because you don't want them 100% cooked, because we're going to be putting them into our jars, our quart-sized jars, I should say. And then we're going to put them on the pressure canner for about 75 minutes. And guess what? All we have to do is grab and warm. And all the meat's cooked. It's already been browned up. Had all of our molasses put in there. And I tell you what, I just tried a piece of it along with my daughter. And it was good. So now it's time to start putting it in our jars. these quart-size jars, the wide mouth. What we're going to do, we made them just down to the right size. So we're going to pop these things in here, and we're going to put about 8 of them in there because as a family of 4, by golly, I tell you what, we go through a lot of food. Now there's 2 of them. Where is it? No, that's actually 3. There's 4. There's 5. And look at how nice they came out. All of our pork sausage patties are done. You know what? We just got a couple of less things that we got to do, which is we got to wipe these rims down because we want a good seal on these darn things. So let's go ahead and wipe that down. Now, some people will use just dry paper towel like I do. Other people will use water and a towel. Others will go ahead and throw in some vinegar to make it even better. Now, what we got to do next, guess what? Unlike my bacon that doesn't need water, I got my kettle of water going here. What we're going to do is we're going to throw some water in here that I've already been preheating. And what we're going to do, we want to take it up just to that last inch right there. And we're going to throw this onto each of them. And yes, I do have some more sausages because guess what I'm going to be doing tonight? I'm going to be eating that. I have my little spatula here because what we want to do is we want to go ahead and take out the air pockets and make sure that it seals correctly. So what we're going to do is shove this around here real gentle. Crud, I want to go ahead and grab one of these out now. Alright, let's throw this off to the side here for just a moment. And if you'll notice, when I took that air bubbles out, the water went down. So I'm going to have to add just a little bit more into each one of these. There we go. Now, since we've already cleaned the lids, we can go ahead and put that top on. We can put the screw cap on and get her going into the pressure canner over yonder. So let's go ahead and get this going. And I'll see you in about 75 minutes to an hour. You know, this may not look like a whole lot for nearly 5 pounds of pork that we went ahead and did up for the pork sausage patties. But I tell you what, I was able to get 8 of them in there, in each quart-sized jugs. And after mixing up all the molasses and stuff like that, makes them a little bit sweeter. Now we can go ahead and, after 75 minutes of being in the pressure canner, then another 10 minutes of cooling off time in the hot bath. Now we can go ahead and start getting everything ready. But in the meantime, I gotta go ahead and, because we have 2 extra ones, I gotta try this. I know it's gonna be good. Just enough sweetness. Oh. Hold on a second, folks. I gotta have another bite of this. Oh, I gotta put that down, otherwise I'll eat the whole thing and I'll forget about doing the video. If you like what we've done today, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media, and actually check out some of our other recipes that I know are going to be tempting your taste buds as we go along. In the meantime, Cowboy Vittles, come and get 'em.